Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of CityCast as we continue to bring stories from all over the country. This is Sinchita Mitra.
And I am Kanishka Kohli, and here are the top stories. Prices of edible oil soars in Maharashtra.
Fewer women police officers in Assam. Our top stories of the day. The price of edible oil goes up. Customers say they find the increase difficult in the present financial crunch. Our reporter Shreya Asopa reports from Maharashtra.
The cost of edible oil has increased by 20% since the last year in Jalgaon. 1 liter of soybean oil now costs 112 rupees compared to 89 rupees per liter last month. The traders in the city say shortage of soybean seeds in the northern Maharashtra led to an increase in the prices.
सोयाबीन तेल का एक्चुअली ट्रांसपोर्टेशन प्रॉब्लम था, उससे वजह से ट्रांसपोर्ट के चार्जेस बढ़ गए थे सब, और दूसरा लेबर शॉर्टेज है जहाँ से अपन इंपोर्ट करते हैं सोयाबीन ऑयल, उसकी वजह से रेट बढ़े हैं.
The price increase also impacts the retailers and wholesalers in the city.
कंपनी का रेट बढ़ गया है, उन्होंने होलसेलर को रेट बढ़े हुए दाम में दिया है, तो वो रिटेलर को भी बढ़े हुए दाम में तेल. कस्टमर महीने का 5 लीटर जो तेल लेने वाला वो 2 लीटर 3 लीटर पे आ चुका है.
Data from the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution states that about 56% of domestic consumption of edible oil is met through imports. While the increase in prices of edible oil is affecting the consumer's food basket.
The edible oil and cooking oil are essential commodity, so the price should be reduced and reasonable. There are a lot of money issues due to the pandemic situation, so we have to buy the essential commodity like oil and other essential household goods very carefully.
Market analyst says edible oil prices can remain at an elevated level because of the cost to boost the economy after the COVID-19 pandemic.
Since there are production cut in Malaysia and Indonesia, so these are pushing the prices. Even after the import duty cut by the government, the prices is likely to remain at the elevated level.
With the rising edible oil prices, consumer may have to manage their expenses. This is Shreya Zopa reporting for CityCast.
With fewer women police officers in Assam, many women say they are not comfortable going to police station with their complaints. Our reporter Pooja Rajkumari tells us more.
The data from Bureau of Police Research and Development shows that only 6% of the Assam police is made up of female officers. This is even lower than the country average of 8%. This makes police stations filled with only male officers appear unwelcoming for women.
Especially the girls, when they go to a police station, their problems seem to be less important, and the police officers really don't, pay that much value or attention to women issues.
However, senior officers feel that the number of female officers at all levels have increased over the years. This has made police stations more sensitive towards women-related cases.
In every police stations, there are the postings of a few lady constables, and whenever a woman, a victim or a woman accused has to be brought to the police station, then our police officers are always accompanied by a lady constable. We always instruct a lady police officer should investigate the women-related cases.
But few of the officers also feel that more female officers would improve the situation further.
Whenever a woman is there in the police station, so women feel very safe to come to the police station and to say some things which she might not be able to tell to the other male officers and all this.
There is clearly a difference of opinion between the general public and the police force about giving timely justice to women. However, both the sides feel that with more women police officers in the force, the situation is bound to improve. This is Pooja Rajkumari reporting for CityCast.
The holiday season this year brings no cheer to the tourism industry. Our reporter Amna Karimi talks about the impact of this from Bihar.
The tourism department of Bihar witnesses an 83% drop in the number of tourists when compared to the past 3 years.
जहाँ पूरे वर्ल्ड से यहाँ 10,000 टिकट कटता था, आज के डेट में 500,000 टिकट भी कटना मुश्किल हो रहा है. 200 रुपया अपना दिन भर का मजदूरी कमाना भी मुश्किल हो रहा है. घर गिरवी रखना पड़ा.
Authorities say the government didn't provide any subsidy during these times.
किसी तरह की कोई हेल्प नहीं, बल्कि और हम कहें कि सरकार की तरफ से हमारे ऊपर इतना दबाव है, जो अपने यहाँ काम करने वाले लोग हैं, कामगार लोग, उनको हटाइए भी नहीं, उनको सैलरी भी दीजिए. कई सारे होटल यहाँ पे ऐसे हैं जो कि अब बिकने के कगार पे आ गए हैं.
Foreigners visit different temples and monasteries in Bihar, but this year, due to travel restrictions, people couldn't visit the places.
जनवरी ही में हम लोग लास्ट बार जा पाए थे कोई भी टूरिस्ट स्पॉट जैसे राजगीर. उसके बाद तो ऐसा डर का माहौल बना और आज तक बना हुआ है कि हम लोग जा ही नहीं, सोचते भी नहीं कि अब टूरिस्ट स्पॉट जाएंगे.
Apart from foreign tourism, Domestic tourism is also impacted. Around 33 million people across the country visited every year, but this year the number came down to 5 million.
There was no job, nothing. Even the guide was not having any job. There should be some relief to the employee because a lot of people have lost their job. Even owners cannot survive long to keep this employee without any help from the government.
Bihar Tourism Department is now focusing on internal tourism instead. Let's wait to witness if the situation can go back to normal for tourism spots in Bihar. This is Amna Karimi reporting for the CityCast.
If you are in Mumbai, chances are your favorite restaurants may still not be open. Our reporter Sinchita Mitra finds many restaurants may have closed permanently.
Restaurants in Mumbai don't have enough staff to resume services. The National Restaurant Association of India says 40% restaurants in Mumbai have closed down permanently because of the shortage of workers. Most people working in restaurants were migrant workers who are unable to come back due to lack of transportation.
All of the migrant workers that we had from Dehradun and the Uttarakhand area, they've all gone back. So I do not have the staff to run that outlet.
The president of Indian Hotel and Restaurant Association agrees that the shortage of manpower is hampering the revival of the restaurant business.
It's like starting a new restaurant as of now, wherein everything needs to be reorganized.
While restaurant staff may want to return, the cost of tickets have doubled and there is a lack of transportation. The Restaurant Association thinks that it will take 3 to 6 months for the situation to change. Experts feel that one way to deal with the situation is to retrain the locals.
A whole bunch of people who are actually locals living in Mumbai, who are probably doing some other profession and now they feel that profession is not suitable, so they could to upskill them and bring them into the hospitality business.
Both restaurant owners and migrant workers are facing a hard time. The government needs to start more transport services to help the situation. This is Sinchita Mitra for CityCast.
We will take a short break. Stay tuned for more health and environment stories.
Welcome back. Continuing to look at the impact of corona, we find there is an increase in the number of patients with dry eye syndrome. Our reporter Ghata Sarvaiya tells us why this is so.
Eye specialists are seeing 80% increase in the case of dry eye syndrome among youth and children.
Previously, we were seeing about 20-30 cases in a month, and now it has increased to 3-folds, 4-folds. Almost every patient is complaining of these symptoms.
Mostly patients are online for extended period of time. Doctors say this is major contributor for dry eye syndrome.
The time when I was spending 8 to 10 hours on a daily basis staring at my computer screens for online classes, my eyes were getting reddened and there was itching in my eyes. I had started feeling some severe headaches.
Most common symptoms for dry eye syndrome are inflammation, itchiness, watery and reddened eyes, and sometimes it can also lead to headaches, sensitivity to light and a blurry vision. The eye specialists suggest that we should take at least 20 seconds of break after watching screen for 20 minutes.
Air condition also, as due to the artificial environment of the air condition, which is cold and dry, leads to the dry eye condition. Whenever you go out, use protective goggles, as direct wind flow over the eye leads to the evaporation of the tear and dryness.
In order to avoid having dry eye syndrome, one must take rest in between of using screen for a long time. Hereby signing off, this is Ghata Sarvaiya for CityCast.
Bangaloreans spend their weekend trying to protect trees. Our reporter Puran Chaudhary brings us more on this.
Despite a ban by the Karnataka High Court on posters and handbills, the city of Bangalore is still reeling with visual pollution. An initiative started by a group of locals has pledged to take down these posters and nails from trees.
We are going to collect some more nails and everything. We are going to give a gift to the BBMP. This is what we have collected, and I think they should take a serious action on this.
BBMP says nobody has been booked under the law since it was passed in 2019.
Actually, we are running very shortage of staff here, but as and when we find it, even myself find, even we beat those fellows, we beaten up. We will pick out all the things, we will put it in the office.
A study shows that the city's green cover has come down alarmingly from 68% in 1973 to 6% in 2017. Environmentalists say these nails puncture the layers of a tree that lead to infections and also subsequently reduce their life cycle.
The old trees, it may be very difficult. So that's why it is impacting trees. So don't put any staples, don't put any nails, don't put any buntings, banners, posters on the tree.
Campaigns like these in the city of Bangalore are ringing bells for the authorities to act and implement laws. This is reporter Paran Chaudhary for CityCast.
Makar Sankranti is round the corner and it is the season for flying kites. Our reporter Shayantan Chandra reports from Calcutta.
Casual kite flights have decreased over the years in Kolkata while the number of people flying professionally have increased. Shop owners say the sales of smaller sized kites used by the casual flyers have decreased while the sales of kites of bigger size used by the professionals have increased.
ছেলেদের পড়াশোনার চাপ বেড়ে গেছে। এখান থেকে অনেক লোকই যারা ঘুড়ি ওড়ানো ভালোবাসতো তারা এখান দিয়ে শিফট করে অন্য জায়গায় চলে গেছে। সেই কারণে ক্রমশ আস্তে আস্তে ঘুড়ির প্রেসটা কমে যাচ্ছে। লকডাউনের সময় আমাদেরও যে তুলনায় বিক্রি হওয়ার কথা ছিল তার হ্যাভক বিক্রি করেছি।
Shop owners also say that the banning of the Chinese manja has had a direct impact on the small size kite sales. The nylon strings, which are famous among the casual flyers, got banned after a freak injury took a biker's life back in May.
ঘুড়ি ওড়ানো একটা আমার কাছে নেশার মতো, কাইন্ড অফ প্যাশনও বলতে পারেন। এখন সময়ের জন্য ওড়ানো কম হয়, বাট মাঝে মাঝে ওড়াই আর টুর্নামেন্টও খেলি। এই লকডাউনের সময় প্রচুর ঘুড়ি উড়িয়েছি।
Unlike other sports, kite flying is expensive. Each big pro kite costs somewhere between 18 to 25 rupees, while a reel of match grade manja costs between 1800 to 3000 rupees.
এরম টুর্নামেন্টের প্যাচ ময়দানে হয়, 4-5 জন একটা টিমে হয়, মিনিমাম 600 মিটারের ডিস্টেন্স মেনটেন করে প্যাচ শুরু হয়, একজন ঢিল দিয়ে খেলে আর আরেকজন টান।
Owners, however, say although there has been a decrease of casual flyers and an increase of professional flyers, their sales have been constant over the years. This is Shayantan Chandra reporting for CityCast, Kolkata.
Meanwhile, in Uttar Pradesh, footballers complain about the lack of basic amenities in football grounds. Our reporter Surya Tripathi tells us how this affects the sport in the state.
Despite having a budget of Rs 21,000 crore allocated to sports, Uttar Pradesh lacks in sporting facilities. The only 4 football grounds that it has lacks in infrastructure and general requirement. Players have said that basic facilities such as drinking water, hostels, changing rooms are lacking around the ground. They then mostly play in the school or college grounds due to lack of these facilities.
There are hardly 4 stadiums here, and that too in horrible conditions. And they don't water the ground regularly. It isn't maintained and is injury prone. So in the state level matches that we play here, it looks like we are not improving.
We try to train them hard by giving them some drills, but we need the better ground and facilities here to make them compete against the top teams. The teams outside play on better grounds and compete with good players, which our boys don't have the leverage to do.
Recently, the Chief Minister's office had ordered a probe into allegations of large-scale foul play at the Uttar Pradesh Football Sangh, which is an association that manages the football in UP. But according to an RTI query, the sports department has stated that UPFS does not exist in its record. Uttar Pradesh Olympic Association Secretary Anandishwar Pandey has said that UPFS is not associated with them since 2014. The government officials have said that they are looking forward in improving the infrastructure of the grounds and building new stadiums in Uttar Pradesh. Instead of solving the football infrastructure issue in UP, it has been thrown into much deeper trouble of finding out who actually represents Uttar Pradesh football here. This is Surya Tripathi signing off for CityCast.
That's all for today. For more stories, log into www.citycast.in. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.